Welcome to Frequency Bone Summer Music Connection 5, Session 3. And in this session, I'm going to talk about the first couple of years of playing. Now, let's take a moment to think about, as teachers, speaking to some teachers right now, that if someone's starting at age 9, as opposed to 14, 15, or 16, those first couple of years are going to be a little bit different. Very clearly, when someone's younger, the trombone can be a big challenge. I remember after struggling for about the first 6 months not to drop my slide, getting near 6th position, I really couldn't even reach 7th position. They put this little contraption right on my slide, this little handle that came out a bit and then went up, and I would use that to reach 6th and 7th position. Oh, I wish I still had it. It would have been so neat to still have it. But usually when someone's a little older than that, they might not have a bigger problem with that. But I have seen, since I started trombone, which is 1964, that more people are getting the trigger or an F attachment, same thing obviously, much sooner. And so I'm amazed, actually, when teaching at the conservatory level, how many people don't use 6th and 7th positions. They just don't feel comfortable out there. Where I still feel very comfortable going out to 6th and 7th position. So it shows you the potency of habit, especially our first impressions. So if you think about the first couple of years of playing, when someone's 9 through 11, or someone's 14, 15, 16 starting, there's a physical difference, even in our air capacity. There's obviously different chemistry going on at different times of life. Desires can be different. Our thinking processes a bit, but then there's certain things that'll be the same. You're still going to have to know how to read the clef or clefs. You're going to have to know about the slide positions. You're going to have to know about embouchure and breathing and articulation. So certain things are the same. How they're processed will be different. And of course, they will be different according to the different people anyway, and their aptitudes. Someone might be able to pick up sight reading extremely fast and have a difficult time building their range. So I find it very, very interesting now, comparing to when I started trombone. Here's an interesting example, just to throw this in right now because I thought of it. Starting trombone when I did in 1964, I think in my whole youth orchestra career, I remember 2 trombone players who were women, who were girls. Nowadays, it's very different. And that's terrific. So, everyone can play trombone. And different people play it for different reasons. And as a teacher, I think it's very important to start to get to know the student as a person a bit and ask them, hey, what caught you about the trombone? What caught you, or whatever instrument the person's playing. And remember that some people might have been just attracted to the way it looked. As soon as I saw it, I know I wanted to play it. Other people, that's not the case. So maybe it was passed down to the family. Maybe it was expected. Well, Uncle Ted played trombone, your dad played trombone, your brother Bill played trombone, and now you, Melissa, you'll play trombone. It could have been like that. And so maybe you would have to find your own reason for playing it if you're still playing. And obviously, if you're still playing through the years, when parents or other people aren't telling you this is what you should be doing, then obviously you've built your own pathway to the instrument. And this can start developing in the first couple of years. You have that moment of, wow, that was cool. I do like this. Or you might say, you know what, I really always wanted to play clarinet. And try to figure out a way to do that in a family that just played trombone. Now I'm kind of having fun with the territory a bit, but just to open it up so we don't forget about the human story in all this, which is so important and vital. So the first couple of years of playing, no matter what age someone's starting, you are learning certain basic things. And after those first couple of months of just kind of splashing around, perhaps more order can be introduced. You'll start to learn more rhythms. To go from quarter notes, half notes, whole notes, to dotted half notes, dotted quarter notes, some eighth notes. Then maybe someone will throw in some triplets. That'll be different. And certain people might have a knack for getting intonation quicker. Others might have a knack for picking up rhythms quicker, for example. And how do we weave these in a way that's engaging, that has something to do with music? Because I believe that it's very important that music always be introduced. As a matter of fact, when I think about my teachers that I had, they were always talking about music. It was never just technique. I'm so thankful for that. And actually my wife, Dr. Carol Vieira, has a great saying that technique is a living thing. Technique is musical. Why not? Of course it is. And so one can start to see more of this when, even if someone's playing something simple like you can ask them, hey, what do you think is so cool about that piece? Anything? You might get some great responses back like, well, it's not my favorite song. And then maybe have them play it a couple different ways. Why not? Mary had a little lamb. She was happy about the lamb. She liked to pet the lamb. How does that make you feel? So you're putting some feelings in when you're talking about technique and even these beginning little melodies. People have feelings about. So some of the things that start to begin in the first couple of years, of course, are building a better range. I shouldn't say better, I should say a broader range. I think for someone who's playing a couple of years, if they can hit an F above middle B flat, I think that F is a good point. Now some people can play a lot higher than that. I know by the time I was 11, I could play a high B flat, maybe squish myself into shape to place a bit higher than that. And I'll tell you what happened in that. I was in this all-city elementary orchestra. Because you have to realize, one of the things with people playing in the first couple years is there's going to be differences in how much they practice. Of course, that's at any level. And when someone can be introduced to, if we have regular, consistent time playing each day, we're going to make greater advancement. We're going to be able to play more fun stuff. Stuff that's faster. Stuff that's higher or lower, or louder or softer. But this comes with practicing and developing on a regular basis. So, I was shocked when I was in 5th grade, and after I'd been playing a year, we came back to school, and I was in the elementary school orchestra, and the teacher said to me, his name was Joe Ferreira. He said, "Wow, you're really getting that big trombone sound. Hey, what are you doing on Wednesday nights? I'd like you to be in the all-city elementary orchestra." And I said, "Wow, that's great." And he said, "Did you practice all summer?" And I didn't even understand the question. I thought, well, of course I did. I played all day, every day. Well, I don't know about all day, but I played every single day quite a bit. So I was surprised that he would ask me that. But most of the people I found out in the band didn't practice at all for those 3 months in the summer. So you're going to come across as teachers, obviously, people who have different appetites and desires for wanting to play. So the first couple years, I think, can be very telling with some people, but other people not. Some people start to play more melodies. Maybe the band director will accompany them on a solo. I know that happened to me. I loved it. And as a matter of fact, what was one of the very first drives in a couple of years to build my range is I was in this all-city youth orchestra, and one of the pieces went up to a G above that F. And I was having a little bit of a problem getting it when I was 10. And that got me so mad that I just kept doing everything I could to move beyond that range. Now, whether I did it with the greatest embouchure in the world or not, that's here nor there right now, really. But the fact is, the power of your desire and how urgently you want something, you'll do what it takes. And again, as you know, as teachers, different people have different timings for that to happen to them. Some people don't start getting serious, even if they start when they're 10 years old, till they're about 16. And all of a sudden they go, "Hey, I really like this. I'm now going to really start practicing." Then they get into some big music conservatory and they've basically just been serious for 2 years. So the first couple years, I think, is a place to experiment, a place to start to get into melody, start to expand our articulation and range. Right? And of course, this depends on how the individual is improving or not.